And so I'm curious, what do you feel is important for clients when it comes to being able to be resilient, not just in the coaching, both in coaching and then in their lives?
Yeah, so I have two metaphors that I love to use, and people have heard me use them before. First one I'm going to go with, just building off what you're saying, is, yeah, this can be a hard process in a sense of it's work, isn't it? And I always say to my clients, you would not go to the gym once and expect to be in great shape. So why we think that about our mental fitness or our emotional fitness, I have to remind myself of that as well. This is about building those pathways within our mindset, aren't they? And we are shifting behaviors and patterns. So that's one metaphor I love to use. And I've got to use the other one as well, because this is, for me, connects to resilience and resourcefulness. And I love to think about the mind as a garden, and the weeds are going to grow. The weeds are still going to grow, and maybe those are limiting beliefs, or maybe those are fears. Yet when we nourish that mind, and when we fertilize it, and we think about what we're planting in that is when we really bloom and flourish. And for me, that consistency, so you might be working with a coach, I don't know, normally people work with me for a program of 10 sessions, or I run women in leadership programs, which are 12 months long, because actually we're layering on change and learning. The client goes away and designs an action in partnership with the coach, as you know. They go away and attempt it. They try it. They see how it works. And this is why the beauty of coaching is about partnering, isn't it? And trusting in your client, because the client is actually developing their own resourcefulness. This is why we don't advise our clients. This is why we don't tell them what to do, because when you come up with something yourself, you own it. And when you have ownership, you are more likely to follow it through. You are more likely to become more resourceful. And resilience comes from attempting those things and having that consistency and learning from it and exploring it and growing from that, and actually thinking, oh, wow, you know that yourself, Britt. You work with a client who will come back and say, oh my gosh, I presented this for the first time, and I just realized I was better than I thought I was going to be, and actually I really enjoyed it, and now I want to attempt to go away and try this. It's almost a flexing those mindset and emotion muscles to help build that resilient strength. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it actually reminds me too of or makes me think about, I should say, the opposite side a little bit too. When I think about, especially with writing clients, there's also a lot of setbacks in writing. You hit, writer's block, or, you have a frustrating couple of days and it's hard to get words on paper. And I think about how coaching builds resilience from that point of view too. The perseverance and the dedication to bounce back. If John were here, he would love to tell you about I can never say this word, the background of the word resilience. But basically it means to dance back, to come back from something. And it's really fun to think about that in the coaching sphere, because when I work with my clients, it's not just building resilience, like you were saying, absolutely. Like, you just wrote chapter 1. How do you feel? Amazing. I'm going to write chapter 2 in so much less time. Great. I'm so excited to see what that looks like. But it's also the times when, okay, last week we said we're going to finish chapter 1. How do we do? I didn't finish chapter 1. Okay, what happened? Let's reevaluate. But keeping that empowerment up so that clients still feel like they are ready to come back from any setbacks that they might experience. And so I feel like that's also a big piece of the value that coaching provides, is not just, in addition to the, building on and continuing to work and get all of those positive achievements, as a coach, we're there to be there for you when something goes wrong. And something's always going to go wrong. So helping you manage through your mindset and the way you approach those situations as well is just as important as the other side of it.
Absolutely. I think it's reminding me of why those learning and exploration questions are so important, aren't they? To kind of understand, well, what was it, as you said, that got in the way, and what was the learning from this? Or a bit like that Ikigai student of yours who was like, I think I'm on the wrong course. You know, this isn't necessarily right for me. As you said, that exploration, and also that we do things like opposite day questions, don't we? Or opposite side questions of like, well, what was the benefit of the pain point, or what was the learning from the adversity? And as you said, I think that builds strength in terms of how you can bounce back, what you learned from it. I mean, one of my favorite sayings is, there is no failure, there's only feedback. And, you know, I have had many setbacks. I've talked about them before. I've lost businesses. You know, things didn't go the way that I wanted at times. They were painful. They were tears. Things didn't progress. Yet actually it wasn't failure. All of that was feedback to build the resilience muscle and to bring me to where I am today.
That's really awesome. That's a really beautiful way to think about how life happens, and with coaching, how it can continue to grow and flourish and help you bounce back. So with the time that we have left, you know, what benefits did you feel like we didn't address yet? You know, what are some of the, or just one more maybe big benefit to coaching that, you know, we didn't get a chance to touch on yet?
I can't believe where the time went. I really enjoyed talking to you, Britt. I mean, we could keep talking about this. I think one of the things for me, I want to just emphasize is that there are so many benefits and layers at different places. You know, we've talked about the individual. I touched on organizations. One of the things I want to share is the coaching that I do with organizations. The benefits that they see again and again is improved organizational culture, reduced stress, higher motivation, higher talent management. The retention rates reduced. We have higher promotion rates. So all of this stuff really, really works. And I talked about it from an individual perspective. But as a coach, you know, for me, one of my goals is to make coaching accessible to as many people as possible. And I think the more curious we are as human beings and the more questions we ask, the more we're open to that growth mindset. I learn new things every single day. I learned new things from you today, Britt. And I think just being open, humble for me is really important as well. But coaching has just improved not just my self-awareness. One of the things I want to share is that it has made me a better human being. It's helped me to understand other people and perspectives differently. And I think the more you practice these skills, you have better relationships. And better relationships means better community and just better humanity in general. So I know we're on time. Anything you wanted to add, Britt?
I think that is such a beautiful way to end today. Just be curious, and that makes, you know, like, for lack of a better word, just like makes the world a better place. If we always approach things from curiosity, a place of curiosity and love and compassion, you know, our relationships and our lives are going to flourish and improve. So thank you. That was awesome.